This is day 546 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like a sponsor upcoming Shir, more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Please contact me directly. Be very greatly appreciated. They were doing Siman Shin Chafei, Sifan Mebeis, last Sifan Shin Chafei, till Siman Shin Chavav, Sif Zayin. Shin Chafei, Lam Mebeis. Akum Shevi Chalim B'Shabbos Yibomen as Hameis, an announcer who brought the recorders, musical instruments on Shabbos to a mourn the dead. He brought them for a Jew. Lo Yisba B'Hem. You should not use them for Hesped. Lo Huva Lo Achem, not he nor others. Ad Shemtin Erev Teshiyas, until they wait till Motzei Shabbos, and enough time has elapsed that it can be brought Motzei Shabbos. But defined as they can come from a place which is nearby outside the Tchum. This is when a Torah prohibition is done with them, which is obviously not this, of course, we'll see momentarily. Shuvu derech Rishus Rabim, they were both through Rishus Rabim. Yisrael rak mishum b'chutz Tchum, but the prohibition is only because of chutz Tchum. La'acher muter miyad kmo shizbar, so he permitted for me other people immediately. But even for himself, some say you don't have to wait b'chdei sheyasa. Moshe have a sif tezvav. Obviously, for himself is not for the dead person, but for the person who was mourning the dead. First, they brought through a place in great publicity. Also, they are forbidden forever. Come over kever, like a grave, because it is degrading. You have a bearish and makam ploni wachukaviyum. You know clearly that they were brought from a distant place. You know for sure. They have to wait the amount of time it would take to bring them from that place. Even something which you could find nearby. Nevertheless, since these came from a distance, you have to wait until they could have been brought from that place. Though some say when they weren't brought through Rishus Rabim, even for him, it's mutter immediately after Shabbos is over. And everybody would agree, don't have to wait Chedei Sheyasa. Mishnah Berurah says it's specifically Chutz L'Tchum, it's mutter for him immediately, but Chutz L'Tchum, if in addition to Chutz L'Tchum, there's even the issue of their Carmelis, which is the double Rabbanan, Chutz L'Tchum and Carmelis, then it's you have to wait Chedei Sheyasa. The Sharatzin says it seems it holds like the Taz, that if that for him it's also even though it's brought through a Carmelis until Chedei Sheyasa, which is very similar to what he just said. Okay, which is not like the Arukh HaShulchan. It doesn't bring down the Carmelis issue at all. Continue the Arukh HaShulchan. It's not like a food stuff brought from outside Tchum, that some say you have to wait Chedei Sheyasa. Because here there's not so much pleasure from it. Therefore they didn't have required to wait Chedei Sheyasa. In general, any malach which you have to wait Chedei Sheyasa, even if the Jew told the non-Jew to do it on Shabbos for him, to be able to say so we still can't ask for more than Chedei Sheyasa. With the recorders and musical instruments, if there's a suffix they're brought from outside the Chum, we take into account that perhaps they're brought from Chutz L'Tchum. We'll come over to see if you design, because it's like a double Shishma Atzirin. Like we saw previously, Shayach Kam Khan, it's also relevant here, and therefore you have to wait B'chdei Sheyasa. Shin Chav Vav, Dine Rechitza V'Zeya B'Shabbos, to wash and to sweat, let's say perspire on Shabbos. They used to wash themselves in Shabbos with hot water, which is heated from before Shabbos. There's no prohibition. This came to Shabbos. It's worth to heat up on Shabbos. And washing itself is not a malacha. So the bathhouse attendants who started heating up the water on Shabbos. Bring Erev Shabbos, they would say it was heated up from Erev Shabbos. Also, as a chamim b'tir. At that point, they forbade washing hot water, but they allowed still perspiring. And they would still wash themselves in hot water from Zimanachlu. So or just perspiring like a sauna. Also, it says they forbade then even perspiring and only allowed cold water, the water of the hot springs of Tveria. Mr. Buddha says if it's a hot spring which people only use for healing purposes, they're not allowed to watch in them on Shabbos. Base. That's not allowed to watch from Erev Shabbos with we're not allowed to wash with hot water heated from Erev Shabbos, all of your body, even most of your body. A rov gufa. Feel you're the same aver. If you wash limb by limb, not all the body together. Whether the hot water is in a vessel, by mekarko, or in the ground. Even if it's hot water supposed to heat up in a bathhouse. And even to pour water on your body to rinse it, change their chitza, which is not considered to be like washing. Nevertheless, came in the nest or chitza saguf, since the washing of the body is forbidden. Lo the rabbanan not to a distinction both for chitza and how you do it. But you can wash with hot water which heat up before Shabbos your hands, your face, your hands, and your legs. Or any other limb, as long as not most of your body. The hot water was heated up on Shabbos. Even was heated up by a non-Jew for the non-Jew's own purpose. Also, if you were you're not allowed even to dip your hand in them. It's not like everything else which a non-Jew made for himself. That a Jew can use them as long as they are not acquainted. Like we saw previously. By washing it's forbidden altogether. And the hands, the face, hands and legs themselves are only permitted Shabbos to heat up before Shabbos. This is clear from the Gemara. Of course, the Isra is not because the Malach which is done with them, and the Etzem Achitza Shkak goes to but it calls into the general for prohibition of washing that Chachamim decreed. Gimel, since with hot water to heat up from before Shabbos, you'll have to wash a minority of your limbs. So a woman who's starting Shimon Akim on Sunday after Shabbos, she has to wear white undergarments Friday Shabbos afternoon. In the evening, she has to wash between her thighs. She can wash her between her thighs with hot water to heat up from before Shabbos. But make sure not to use a wash rag, so not to come to squeezing out. She uses her hands to wash Panesh to wash below. And between her thighs, Shines by that we clarified the Bechitza and Alikuva. I it's not, you don't have to wash there, it's just an Eitz Taiva to clear up any blood which might be left. To go to the mikveh Friday night after dark, also mikveh chamor bay. It tells us the mikveh is very hot. Shechitza's called guf ne'asar. Because for washing one's body is forbidden. El Yushi could place in, they should be lukewarm or cham ktsas, a little bit warm. Chitza shenasa elok shamayim chaim chamim harbei. It's an interesting idea, but obviously it's true for men's mikvahs as well. The prohibition is only when the hot water is very hot. Achu karov yad soletis. The point that it's almost yad soletis. The look if not, it's a chaim. No patience. It's not hot water. It's lukewarm water. Nevertheless, we don't know what precisely the shear is. It's never been clarified. It's like the kosher cham b'fiolim, and it was called hot water, not lukewarm water, by people. That's awesome. What about the hot water springs of Tveria? They're mutter. Tafka b'karkas, it's only there in the ground. Shakol roim shezel chamei Tveria. So if it sees it's the hot water of Tveria, or not water which is heated up artificially. But once the chamei Tveria go into a vessel, also it's forbidden. Because people come to get confused between that and water which is artificially heated. It's not like a gzeir that we ask chamei Tveria because of chamei or which in itself is only Issa D'Rabbanan. The gzeira achas, it's only one gzeira, not to use water in hot water in a keli. The kol b'kli also chamin, anything which is in a vessel, you can't use it on. So to the perspiration they forbade. And chil ben zeh abam b'sivas or the little difference whether the perspiration comes because of fire or abam b'sivas chamei Tveria because of the hot springs of Tveria. Shusha chamei Tveria. So therefore, when the chamei Tveria, the hot water springs of Tveria, are permitted, lo charaksh in a makam makura, they're only permitted in the open air. The us ain't shamzeh because then there's no sauna effect, no schwitz, right? But the place has a roof. Also, it's forbidden. The acid is there because it comes to perspiration. Usually, some say the Zayas Chamit Tveria Hutra. Some say that the perspiration of the hot springs of Tveria is mutter no matter what. Thanks for the Mayim Atzum Mutar. It doesn't make sense to say the water themselves are permitted. And the perspiration which comes on their account is also. But there is Arukh HaShulchan. The first opinion obviously does not hold that way. We have precedent for that. That something which is cooked in a vessel which is heated by the sun is worse than something which is cooked in the sun itself. Because you might kind of mix up between a vessel heated in the sun and a vessel heated over fire. Here too, but perspiration might be more severe than the overarching category. From this reason. For people who travel to hot springs. In Yesham Zeh, if there's also a schwitz there, a sauna, they should be careful. When the water themselves they can wash. Those are all hot springs, which are the same as the hot springs of Tveria. And they can go to large pools of water, as you know, as long as you know that they're hot springs. Only if there's perspiration, they should be careful. I guess if you're there for your health, then you can rely on those umatir even to do zeya in Chamei Tveria. The Mishnah says it's talking about a case where the Rabbi says you can rely on the Mekilin. Okay, as Arukh HaShulchan says. Hey, if you have a pipe of hot springs water, you cannot, well, a canal really, a canal. You can't put in a jet, literally, in other words, a pipeline, of cold water. Before Shabbos again, where the mouth of the pipe comes outside the canal, the spills into a hole in the ground. Why would people do this? In order to heat up the cold water, when they go through that pipe, which is embedded in hot springs of Tveria. This is considered to be similar to insulating with which is adds heat. Which is also even before Shabbos begins. But some simulation Zayin. So you can't use this water from that pipe either to wash or to drink till Motzei Shabbos. In Shabbos, like any hot water heated on Shabbos, you can't use even to wash one limb. But if you put in this pipe from before Yontif, like hot water heated up on Yontif, the Mutarim B'Shasir you're allowed to drink and to wash your face, hands, and legs. But not all of your body, as we shall see. That's when the pipeline is surrounded, it's completely closed. And the hot water doesn't get mixed up with the cold water. That's like insulating. But if the cold water spills into that water, the water mixes up. That's not like hatmana. It's not like insulating. If this began from before Shabbos, even though it continues whole Shabbos, they get mixed up together. They're permitted like any malach which begins from before Shabbos, they come Shabbos and then finished on Shabbos, which will have a simulation base. So I feel kol gufan, and you're allowed to wash with them in them of your entire body, kedin chamei tveria, like the hot springs themselves. There's a bracket of Rashi lamches and base relay. The gamzeh have a katmona, but this is dochuzeh. Obviously, it's machlekes. We paskin like this. Mishnah Berurah is telling about a case where you close the pipe, and it says it means completely insulated on all sides until Shabbos. Then you open up one side of it. But if it wasn't completely closed, Shabbos says that the water which goes into Erev Shabbos and comes out immediately are definitely mutter, and the water which comes in on Shabbos, he's not sure about its status. Okay, it's not really something which we come across nowadays. Vav, leish for them kogufa, but so a person should not rinse up his body in cold water. It's like they go and then stand opposite a bonfire, heat up. They should have shemayim shalav, because you make water on you lukewarm. I know, lukewarm, make it warm. And it's like you're washing your body in hot water. But I've got the bushel on that, so even though lukewarm water is not forbidden, here they come hotter. But first you go heat yourself up by fire, then he rinses himself off with cold water. Mutter, that's permissible. That gets the water on you was not heated up. They're not as cold because they come in contact with your warm body. And one limb in this manner, such as to wash your hands in cold water and heat them up in the fire. If it's not like absolute washing, mutter, it's permissible. Some people say that seems that way from the Rambam. Mr. Sharatin says that in language of Grotz Masha, the reason the Rambam is that on making something lukewarm, there's no shame isser. According to this, when water is made lukewarm on Shabbos, there's no isser in only to wash your entire body, but one limb is mutter. Okay? See what Arukh HaShulchan say. Some say the Zelker Chitza Gemara, that some people say this is like absolute washing. Therefore, shall make sure not to heat up your hand by fire until after you wash. Bir Halacha says, if you're by the side of an oven and it's very hot, also you should be careful. If it's not opposite of fire, I guess. Unless says you dry them off first very well. But at distance, where it's not Yatzeres, you can hold them opposite the fire. You can't come to absolute heating up. The Avraham answers, according to the explanation of Mechatzitza Shekel, in a place where it won't become Yatzeres Bo. Yushami Kiram Meforish Loken, I and Sham Yushami holds no, only become Yatzeres Bo. Long brackets here. It says in Yushami, you can go down and dunk yourself in cold water, heat yourself opposite a fire. Divrei Meir. Chachamim forbid this. My time out. Rabbanan. Why do Rabbanan forbid this? Yeva Kamad Rabbi Zira. It's like Rabbi Zira said, Mutal have shir makom shiat sholetes. You can make something lukewarm in a place where the hand is sholetes. It's not the same as yad sholetes. Place where it's not yad sholetes. Yad is sholetes. You can go not yad sholetes. I'm sure. Kamakom shiat sholetes ain't a lo derech chitza lo derech chimum kamuvon. Because in place that's yad sholetes, it's not considered derech chitza and not the way of heating up yourself, obviously. Hey, Loni's barley, so that's why he's not clear what the Magen Avraham is saying. That which Gemara says is because you make the water lukewarm and you push mamish, which is literally lukewarm, because the usher, and nevertheless it's forbidden. To Mihanim astounded, says Arukh HaShulchan. The Poshim Lon has lukewarm water is never usher. Especially this washing, which is not really considered to be definitionally washing. That's what he said. It's only a problem when they become hot. Rashi is clear from language of Rashi. Rambam says not complete washing. So even yad soledes. It's not really washing. It's putting on the water, then standing opposite the fire. Mishnah says that even to make lukewarm, it's also to your entire body because it's like rechitza, and by chamin shiat soledes bo, even one limb is also. I don't think you should use chamin shiat soledes bo on your body if you can avoid it. Zayin mutar b'Shabbos lachem beged litna bito. You can heat up a garment on Shabbos, put it on your stomach. But that's going to be specifically a dry garment. Chen yer mutar litain machvas a makom shiat soledes. You can also put a pan, a place which is not yad soledes. Shatuchum might be become a little bit hot. But you put it in your stomach. I will also think better than a cliche but you can't put in your stomach a vessel which has hot water that was heated on Shabbos. The Shem Yishmachol Love needs to rochate the Shabbos because it might spill on you and it'll come out like you're washing on Shabbos. I guess it's like a Dover HaMiskafi because that's also beneficial and therapeutic to you. Sharatzin says, talk about hot water which is heated a bit over your ends. Only heat a bit, not to yad soledes bo. Okay. According to this, if there's heated from Erev Shabbos, it's permitted. Because it's not washing your entire body if they fall on you. And that's okay if it's water heated from Erev Shabbos. Gemara Sham also Zafil Bechol, but Gemara says also a weekly near Sakana. Sometimes what is boiling. She spill love Yichavua, and they will spill it. We will spill by yourself. It's going to burn you. Yichaveh, sorry, they're going to burn. Taisa Sham Kasu the Shabbos Isim Shumafua. Taisa says prohibition Shabbos says because not because of the Isser Rechitza, because of Refuah. Because healing, because it might come to grind herbs. Shabbos says if it's a Torah, you can make like the first opinion. That's only issue of rechitza, not an issue of refuah. Arukh HaShulchan says beggar look also by a garment. They didn't make a prohibition. The law machzir kavua doesn't look like healing kolkach ayin sham. Gon she'ena choli el michush ba'alma. So about of course where it's not a real sickness, but only just a ache. The b'choli gambor, if it's absolute sickness, I feel able sakana, even if there's no danger about the chol kofus el yidei ein yehudi. You can do everything, any healing by a non-Jew, including presumably putting this hot water on your stomach.